doesn't commit us to, say we bring somebody on, they look great on paper, we use their services for one and it doesn't work out, it doesn't commit us to having to use those for two and three. Correct?
The contract would have to be worked on.
But then, I mean, is there a concern, maybe not, is there a concern that that kind of, just doing it all in one kind of limits someone's perhaps interest in submitting?
I don't think so. I think firms that would be interested in one would probably look at, knowing that they have 3 jobs, 18, 24 months of work.
And so what exactly also, for about a year and a half now, we've been hearing about town hall renovation, and we put money to it, and we're moving money around from it, and adding to it. What exactly are we looking to do? Because, I've heard and seen what I believe we need, and it seems to be fairly urgent, yet we don't even have any quotes or any idea, as far as I know, what we're looking to do. So what are we asking them to qualify?
So just to fill you in on where we are presently, we've had 2 staff level meetings. We've had a survey that was sent out to staff, getting a general idea and framework of what they would like to see in this facility that's redone. Not looking at present day, but looking at the likelihood of it being renovated again in the next 50 years, less than to none. So we want to make sure that whatever we do today, to Tim's point, putting in fiber and stuff like that, that it's built to be able to get us at least the next 50 years. Now, with that being said, we're not entering this blindly. We do have a general idea of, hey, how many offices do we need in finance? How many do we need in admin? We've got a general sense of that. But no firm numbers as far as like what this would cost or anything like that. And then furthermore, once this is approved for town hall anyway, we would like to add 2 council members to that group as far as meeting goes. So,
Well, I mean, I would think, at some point this would be a discussion amongst us and staff, maybe in this 2 council subcommittee. The old the old police department area, I don't know what potential plans are there, but I think I would be interested to see if that was, after renovation, able to be, like leased out for an office, additional office space for someone else, or office space for us. I mean, whatever it is at the time. Again, plans are in the works.
So currently, the project's being evaluated. When we say town hall, it involves this building, including the police station and planning and zoning's building. So when we say town hall renovation, is that accurate? It includes those.
There's like 4 projects technically.
Well, not really. Town hall is, yeah.
This is one building.
Right.
Anyone coming in and looking at it is not going to look at it as town hall and the old police station.
It's not the whole building.
No, but I meant
What do you mean?
planning buildings.
Well, it's not, you're not renovating council chambers or offices. Focusing on the police.
No, that's not true. The office settings that we have currently don't work. If you come in and talk to any of our staff, they would say, hey, look, we're working, some folks have closets that are, it's just not functional. Some folks work in closets.
You're asking whoever submits a bid.
I mean, I hope I don't offend anyone, but really, some folks do work in what was once a closet.
But you're asking for cost estimates. Do you have a list of each project and what you want to see?
No, but
You can't just ask for a bid. Say what-
But at the same time, a list that leaves us out is not a list. To have a legitimate list, that would have to come here.
And all of this work would come here for approval. Like, this would be, hey, this is the design, this is what we've thought about in the subcommittee, this is what we would like to see. And then it comes to this body for a yay or a nay.
So I'm sorry, Mayor, I might have missed it.
And I hope that it would also come to this body for what we think, what town hall needs and what needs to be considered.
Absolutely, that's why we want to include 2 council members. We can't include all of you in the initial meetings because it would be a public meeting. And we're trying to have a subset of center committee would like to do before we hit the point where we say, this is the type of building we want. There's public surveys, there's public engagement, right, like those things. Right, and the committees discuss that, but we are also at the sense that we have the planning commission, or the comprehensive plan, we've got the strategic plan, we don't wanna like turn people numb to public comment and input, so we're staggering some of that.
So what is the, I'm sorry, I might have missed the, when we were forming something.
For what?
For the,
Town hall?
yes,
So the committee staff level already exists.
I'm sorry, with the council.
Once this is approved, we would probably have somebody join our next meeting, and when they join the next meeting is when we would include the council. We're not meeting before then, so the next meeting would include 2 councilmen.
And,
Is that accurate? Please correct me if I'm.
No, I think what you're saying is accurate. I think one of the things that it's kind of forgotten in this is a request for qualifications is not a request for quotes.
Correct.
You are looking at, now we're asking them for cost estimates, but they're not
Just so we have
considered as
an idea.
part of it. It's just to give us some budgetary idea. But it is not considered part of what we are judging submitters on.
And nobody's drawing anything for
Right.
their submission?
You
None of
will look at past projects that they've done, their list of qualifications, their employees who will work on it, and you will make a judgment based on that. It is not about,
This is
The
like
cost.
one-year security.
sure, yeah.
It's like hiring Jack's construction company. You know what I mean? We wanna see what Jack can do.
Oh, yeah.
And what Jack has
Or
done.
what
Right.
is that?
Right.
Exactly.
Well, I'm just getting off the ground, right, But so the final point here, then the public works facility, if we're asking for qualifications on that, how is that? So it's gonna be the same thing, just, we've done this public works facility.
Basically,
forever.
yeah.
Here's what we've done.
Yeah.
It might not be a public works facility. It might be, we built this building, and this is what we did. I mean, we wanna hopefully see them.
Clarify some of this.
A request for qualifications is not about what it will cost. It's about can the firm do it.
And we want, and this came at the recommendation of the planning director, we want a design and build firm. Somebody that can help us design the project and follow it through to completion. So,
Please do.
yes, so if there's no further questions, we'll open it up to the public regarding motion 2024-08, the RFQ for design and build services. All right, seeing none, we'll ask the council to action the item.
I'll make a motion to approve 2024-08 for a request for qualifications for the 3 facilities owned by and operated by the town.
Thank you. So I have a motion by Councilmember Orris, a second by Councilmember Burrell. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Let the record reflect that motion 2024-08 passes unanimously with Councilmember Nichols absent. Up next is motion 2024-09, approval of request for proposals, RFP 2024-03, audit services for the town's existing information technology contracting system. Town Administrator Mary Boland and Special Projects Administrator Kate Dowd are going to run point.
This is basically what it says, having a company come in to examine our existing IT systems and contracts and determine if improvements can be made, if things are as they should be, if there are areas that need improvement. Based on the results of an initial audit for IT services, the next step, if needed, would be for that firm to also assist in development of an RFP for IT services. Now, whoever participates in this RFP process will be prohibited from bidding on any similar projects for the town for, I think I have a minimum of 5 years. So they could not then formulate the RFP to their advantage.
Any questions? This is a request for the council, which I think is also very prudent. The fact that we have not gone to bid for information technology services for a long time just keeps things competitive. Even if we stay with the existing vendor, it keeps, at least we know where we're at pricing wise. I know that's been a concern for the body, so thank you, Mary, for working on this.
Just a question on this. Does our current vendor's contract preclude us from making a move within the next budget
put together an IT RFP because there are so many different aspects to IT services. That's why bringing a professional in to assist with that process is key. You have to have someone who knows what they're doing help you to develop the RFP, but then you have to prohibit that same vendor from actually bidding. So it becomes tough.
So you're just asking someone to come in and evaluate what we have, if it works well, if it doesn't, what needs to be added, but not give you a bid on taking over the IT services.
Correct.
And they won't be able to give the bid
Right.
later for that AT services as well. So somebody who is not interested to do contractual work for IT services later on, but knows how to evaluate the IT services.
So our existing provider could be able to.
Cannot bid on
No.
this.
Could not be able to bid. Maybe hard for us to find people.
That's been the
Well,
challenge.
That's the
It has been a
problem.
challenge. The thing about IT audit services is you get a contract with a company that's nowhere in the vicinity because they don't necessarily have to come on site. They can examine the listed equipment and that kind of thing and speak to the current IT provider and get the information that they need that way. The current IT provider is aware that we're undertaking this process and that they will be probably, very likely to be having conversations at some point.
So why not incorporate the bid and the audit into one and allow whoever wants to come in, evaluate the system and say, okay, here's what you have, here's what you need. Why go through this process and just limit it to an audit,
If you invite someone to come in and look at your system
right?
and give you a proposal to improve that system, you're going to find things to improve. You're giving someone the ability to, I don't even know how to express what I'm trying to say.
Mary, can I have that? So
Please.
we're looking for somebody who would tell us what to look for and not gonna be interested financially to do it later. So basically, you want a car, but you don't know which kind of car. So now they're gonna come in and tell you, you should do this, this, and this, but I don't have a car to sell. We don't know what we're looking for.
I understand that.
Right.
I'm just concerned.
I do understand it's a
Not
lengthy
enough provider
process.
In this area
It's
to
not,
get
it's
qualified bids, you're gonna have pull someone from across.
But for us to write a request as a proposal for services, we need to know what we're looking for.
Right.
And that's what this step
And,
comes.
and we run into the same sort of issues with really any, more complex project that we undertake. If you ask the potential provider of that service to assist you in writing the bid, you're gonna get a bid that they can bid on. It's just, you're giving them an unfair advantage in the bidding process, and it really does kind of tie our hands at some point.
Services may be, part of the problem, but I think this is a splendid idea to get an independent opinion as to the status of our IT. And I think this is the way to go, because we don't have that expertise nor that knowledge. Someone may come in and say that based on IT, what we have is appropriate and will last us down the road. But they also may come in and say that what we have is lacking in several areas. So I think getting an independent opinion is the way to go, because we don't know.
What's the timeframe?
I haven't set the dates, we always leave that blank until we can really sit down and kind of work it out.
I guess to Steve's point, I'd hate to see us sign a new contract with the existing provider without following through with this.
Oh, we will definitely follow through with this. I don't think that this needs to be an extensive period of time, but 30 days should probably do it.
All right, any other questions, or, all right, let's open it up for public comment on motion 2024-09. Seeing none, we'll take action from the council. So a motion by Councilmember Burrell, second by Councilmember Orris. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Let the record reflect the motion 2024-09 passed unanimously with Councilmember Nichols absent. Up next is motion 2024-10, approval of Town of Berlin's FY25 Worcester County unrestricted grant funding request. It should say grant request, because a portion of it would be restricted. With that, let's take a look. Starts on page 39, goes to page 40. You'll see that the recommendation is to make a request for an unrestricted county grant for fiscal year 25 with an increase of 7.5%, bringing the total to $500,000. The unrestricted grant helps offset the costs of services that the town of Berlin provides in lieu of Worcester County providing these services. Additionally, the town of Berlin would like to request $10,000 to assist in quarterly promotion videos for the downtown business district. This came bubbled up through the business roundtable we had hosted by the mayor's office as well as economic development, and then has also come up a couple times about how we can assist with promotion throughout the change of seasons in Berlin during our merchant meetings. And then it notes that Worcester County currently only has 2 destination marketing organizations, one of which being Worcester County, the other being the town of Ocean City. Through the state of Maryland, with purposes of marketing and developing tourism, the downtown businesses have requested additional promotion to help boost commerce in the town of Berlin, and we're asking the commissioners to assist with that. Due to resident concerns, this gets into Seahawk Road. To the safety of Seahawk Road, the town of Berlin contracted with a vendor to restripe the roadway, including directional arrows, crosswalks, and no parking zones, and a sidewalk extension with ADA landings going to Stephen Decatur High School and Stephen Decatur Middle School. Seahawk Road is a municipal roadway, but due to the markings needed for both of the schools, the cost of the project was drastically increased. The recommendation is to request reimbursement from the county for the increased costs associated with striping in the amount of $12,000, and then the cost of the sidewalk leading to the schools, $4,000, making that increase $16,000. In total, it brings our request to $526,000 for FY25. So, any questions or comments from the body?
Just one. Did the commissioners, were they aware, other than these meetings, if they were watching, that we were doing anything on Seahawk Road?
The schools were in partnership with the work that was
Sheriff's.
being done in the sheriff's office. We've been in communication now. As far as the increased cost goes, this would be the first time they're probably seeing that cost in front of them.
I like the letter, I will say. I think the Seahawk Road reimbursement is a great attempt.
It's an ask. I mean, all of it's really an ask.
Right, and it's, if you've been out there, I happened to drive by at night, saw Jimmy on the road, and he was like, you gotta check it out at night, because I hadn't seen it, and it is, I mean, it's night and day. That's
It is night and day.
Whatever. But it's a big improvement, so I think it's a great opportunity, and I like the marketing idea as well. Just have a question on the $500,000 round number. I know, I have 2 questions on that. One, the mayor, you attempted to get a partnership with the other municipalities. Did you hear any feedback on that?
I suggested to the others that we approach an increase communally. In that, I found out that I had a pretty good understanding Ocean City was higher than 500.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with the mayor that maybe rather than matching number for number, we go for a similar increase. Right, and I'm not here to speak for Ocean City, but then also in communication with Snow Hill, they currently receive $500,000. So I don't think it's, I don't think our $500,000 request is outlandish.
Right. And this grant request is outside of the pass-through dollars, right? Correct, as income tax, that sort of thing.
This does not include, what is it? The Amos grant, pass-throughs, what else? There's a list of things, because each year when we go down there, they say we're giving you $1.2 million. I'm just pulling something out of my head.
Yeah.
And really, the direct amount is the unrestricted grant and any additional asks. So, is that a good summary?
Right, because town residents pay
Good Seahawk Road look?
That's what I was telling you.
We do want to thank you for that because it's really, really nice. And it's a lifesaver because that was a dangerous situation. So thank you for that. Your comment.
We'll see you soon.
What do you think of Seahawks Road?
It's all right. I don't know. I mean, it's better. It's definitely better. It's just tight by that.
Yes, it is tight.
I mean, nothing you can really do there, but if a car is turning in there, man, it is like, I'm like, I'm gonna hit the curb.
It's the old Seahawk Road.
Yeah, it's still,
I
but yes,
just
it looks a lot better.
feel it should be an annual thing though, because it wears quickly.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, because it's extremely dangerous,
it is.
especially if people don't know the area.
Now, with that being said, Tuesday, March 5th, 2024, mark your all's calendars. Hopefully, we can all have a date together at the commissioner meeting, 10 o'clock. Sarah will send out, or you may have already done
Sarah
so.
already sent
Sarah, thank you, she's on top of it. So save the date, and with that, okay, good.
Make the motion to approve the letter, from mayor council for the town of Orleans, FY25 Worcester County, grant funding request.
Thank you. I have a motion by Councilmember Wertz,
Second.
second by Councilmember Green. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, let the record reflect the motion 2024-10 passes unanimously with Councilmember Nichols absent. Up next is agenda item number, thank you all. Up next is agenda item number 4, reports from the town administrator and department.
Just a couple of quick things. This coming Monday the 19th, most town offices will be closed for the, President's Day holiday. They're not thinking what the holiday was. On the next day, the 20th, the town hall will be closed from 12:30 to 1:30 for our sort of monthly staff luncheon and team building. So that's all I have. I think Kelsey has something to add.
I just wanted to say that we will, Kate and I will be attending the Salisbury University Job Fair on the 22nd. So if anyone is in the area or knows anybody looking for work, we will be, thankfully don't have many openings right now, but we will have an administrative assistant position open. We also take, emails and stuff so that we can notify people of summer seasonal work or any other job openings that become available. So that will be at SU on 222.
Very nice. All right. Up next, any comments from the public? I do have a comment to the public. We do, at our last meeting, we discussed the need for Board of Elections workers, and I want to say that we're moving ahead with hopeful interviews to some that may be in attendance. So thank you for that. We really appreciate the volunteer work on that. So that'll come before this board for approval, of course, but just wanted to say thank you. All right, up next, comments from the council. We'll start with Vice President Burrell.
I have to approve things.
Okay. You've been out for a little while, so we'll allow you to have three things.
Could
but-
say they're not.
First thing, Kelsey, you talked about, in your presentation, positions holding space in the pay scale that are not currently filled or no longer exist.
They were not included in the monetary amount, they were just included to assign grades to them if they've existed in the past, so that if we were to fill it, we know where we will fill it. But I did not assign any, money when, in that $211,000.
So are those positions needed and they're not filled?
They were ones that, at the time of the study, we had them include, so they did look at the market values for those roles because it was something that we knew we had at one point. Maybe we would come back to having those positions, but arguably each department is gonna tell you that those do need filled right now, but I think they're positions that some haven't been filled in a couple years, some, longer than that, but we wanted to include them in case we ever needed them again, just so that they would be something that we could look at. But at the time, code enforcement, because this was 2 years ago now, I don't know that that was something that was talked about as much as it has been now, so that was not included when we did that case study. So, answers your question.
Yes,
Okay, great.
I really do hope that we take a look at those positions that have not been filled for years
Yeah.
and the need to continue to carry them. My next question is to Jimmy. I guess Jimmy. Work has been done under 113 associated with the drain that brings water from the west side onto the east side. And I'm wondering if what has been done increased the capacity of the water to be drained onto the east side.
It was a state project and through the state area. They did some repairs. I think some of the concrete around the tubing was crushing and falling in. But they did not increase the volume. They did not change any sizes of the tubes. And then they would have just cleared out a little bit of the exit coming out on the east side. And so you probably won't see any more flow. It was a structural integrity repair.
Oh, okay.
Is this on?
No, it was at Branch Street.
I was concerned that the volume of water coming onto the east side being increased, but what they actually done was shore up what was there.
Correct.
Okay.
It's the same ditch that runs from the back of the hospital, or
Medical.
yeah, and then it flows over, and then there was some structural damage there that they just did some repairs and cleaned out. Probably some debris that was laying in the pipe.
I just have one more thing. Tonight, by way of motion, we actually deviated from one of our established procedures related to events coming on to our list of events during the year. It is my hope that this council going forward will be consistent in how we handle that going forward and realizing that tonight we have set a new precedent. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Nair?
So I just have a question for the mayor and council to see how they feel about this. This is something that I talked with you about a while ago. How would the council feel, as opposed to doing a moment of silence, doing a blessing during that short segment? Each one of us could take a meeting, do a quick blessing, and instead of doing a moment of silence.
And when we talked, just so that everybody's aware, I said that this was the appropriate place between them. So, and get your intake, or input on.
Well, when you get into specific blessings, then you get it perhaps down a path where you're could be recognizing a certain faith.
But this would be non-denominational.
It should be okay. Safest route is the way we do it.
I mean, it's really up for discussion by this body. I mean,
I just want to hear them.
I have a lot of strong opinions on the topic. I did really not support removing the Lord's Prayer at the time Zach became mayor, but I think you explained it as that you were trying to avoid any sort of future concerns that may come with it.
Actually, I'm sitting right here before I got sworn in with Councilmember Orris and Councilmember Nichols. And I was walking through the flow, Jeff and I were sitting there and we had you on the phone. And we were talking about how the flow of the evening would go. And said, okay, we're gonna say the Lord's Prayer. And I think Jeff was the one that said, you might not wanna do that. And then we got Gaskell on the phone and he said, same thing he's saying now, it's not the best practice and it does open us up for some liabilities that in the area that has come to light. Now, I will say that I've grown up saying the Lord's Prayer at the start of every meeting, not just here, but in other organizations I'm a part of. And the reason it takes me so long for my moment of silence, I do say the Lord's Prayer at the start of every meeting. So it's not something I necessarily agree with, but
Sure. Yeah, I actually do the same thing, and, you know, so, you know, I don't have a problem with it at all. You know, I do actually like how the county commissioners handle it, where they have a pastor come in from different denominations, and they actually lead the blessing. I don't know how everybody's comfort level is, you know, with saying the blessing. I know, you know, at my family, I look to my uncle to lead the prayer. He lead the blessing at the table. But I mean, I'm open to it. I do like the idea of having. Berlin is a town of a lot of churches.
how many, Chief?
Over 14 now.
That's, yeah.
We've got a lot to,
So that's a thought, you know, as well. You know, so.
we just have to be, I think it's a good idea. As a matter of fact, we talked about that when we brought this up. We have to be open to that. If the 15th one comes and it's one that maybe has different belief, we have to open it to those entities as well.
Right.
So,
Well, I mean, I think part of the community is recognizing differences that we all have.
I agree.
And, yeah, so, I mean, you know, I don't know if we do some, I mean, I'm sure my pastor would love to come. I'm sure Dean and Arnold's pastor would come as well.
Or
But,
even if you gave you would.
right,
Agree.
yeah, that's true, right?
I'm with Steve. I'd like to see, and we talked about it too. I mean, I would be more comfortable having someone come in and do that portion.
How would that be non-denominational?
Yeah, I got a question.
I mean, I have no clue.
I have a personal opinion. This is my opinion. My opinion is, and I'm a solid Christian, my opinion is, in this diverse society that we live in, when you said, let's have a period of silence, to me, that's fine. If I'm a Christian, if I'm a Buddhist, or whatever I am, I can do it in silence. God hears our prayers, whether they're silent or whether they're verbal. And it would be great. Now, my wife don't agree with me on this one, I'll tell you, just like it is, but that's my personal opinion. And I think it would keep us out of trouble. Now, the county is getting away with it. They've been getting away. But one day, it might come back to bite them. And it's beautiful, but that's my opinion.
And to Gabe's point, that's why we did adopt the moment of silence.
Yeah, you know, I said, you know, I prayed when you do it, you know.
I can tell you every day I said the Lord's Prayer when we started this meeting, but in my head.
I can tell you that the Carroll County Commissioners got dragged into federal court over what they were doing.
But they won, didn't they? They didn't win.
My opinion is, if we are going to change from the moment of silence back to some sort of statement at the beginning of the meeting of religious connotation, we have 14 religious facilities in town. How many meetings do we have a year?
26.
Okay, so
We cancel one every year since 2015.
to answer the question, I mean, if we're gonna move back to having that, I think that we should figure out a way where all of our religious facilities, whether they be Christian, Protestant, Jewish, or whatever, have the same opportunity. I do think that it is a concern, as Mr. Purnell pointed out, in a certain light. I do not believe that anyone from the dais should lead
if you notice what happened down at the county commissioners, we invite ministers of different denominations. But in these later years, they come in, they do not normally pray as we would in church. They come in and they ask for prayer for the commissioners. You know, they pray that we have wisdom and that type of thing. You know, get into a lot of the biblical scriptures and things like that. They come in and they pray like that. So, and we haven't, thus far, haven't had any problems because they come in and they have a short strip and they read it, and then we turn and we say the pledge allegiance to the flag, and that's it.
Is that pre-approved by any chance? Like, do they have a pre-approved script or?
A lot of churches, organized churches, have a book of prayers, and they put. But I have noticed that they pull out prayers that are basically sort of generic, and they just ask for the blessings of the county commissioners, and that, you know, we have wisdom in things that we do. So everybody to their own opinion. Like we said, we don't agree. I agree. I need prayer. They need prayer. You know, but you know, so that's the way that it is. I've noticed some people don't say a pledge of allegiance to the flag.
Yeah, that's good.
I hope I don't see that top wall.
Well, I mean, that's,
Another guy.
they don't. Because it says, you don't.
My opinion is, when we first stopped the Lord's Prayer, I was appalled.
Yeah, you all wanted to throw me under the bus and back up again.
And I thought to myself, that is going to hell.
What you said?
Yeah, I'm Christian.
But since that time,
And he forgives you.
I have come to think like Gabe. When I stand here, I pray for us, I pray for this town, I pray for the well-being of us. And now that I have started this, I really don't want to think that we should go back. Because like Dave said, we open ourselves up for a lot of governmental impacts. And if that is something we don't have to deal with by doing it this way, I would be in favor of proceeding as we have been. It's because religion and non-religion is a personal and private thing. And who I pray to and pray with is entirely I want to say my business.
Personal.
I'm trying to think of another word, but
Private.
it's more
Personal.
personal and private.
There you go.
So I think if we could keep that personal and private, I think we would be in a better place. Because when you start talking about beliefs, which are all individual beliefs, we could get as many beliefs in this room as there are people. And I think we're in a good place. In fact, not.
Thanks, Dean. At least I ain't
My intent was not to make anybody up here feel uncomfortable, and we can't build a consensus on this thing.
And it's good to have that conversation.
Right, that's all I wanted to ask.
I agree, Gabe.
Good, that's it. All right. Councilmember Works?
Oh, I'll follow up after that. So just real quick, only one thing tonight. Kate, and the group, I believe the Parks Commission, the Parks Commission approved them kind of handling disposition of parcel 52. So are they good to go? Do we need to do anything up here? They're okay with it. Can we say go forth and do whatever they want to decide to do?
I do believe they're under the impression that they will now oversee parcel 52,
Yes.
just like they do with Steve Peter Henry.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to make it official. Okay, that was all that.
Thank you. Councilmember Green?
Just a question about Herring Park. Have we?
Aaron or Henry?
Herring, did I say Henry?
I couldn't tell. I was
Okay,
sorry.
Herring Park.
Aaron Park.
Specifically the chicken plant buildings. That's have we heard back from the demo bidder as far as the next steps?
Construction meeting Wednesday.
Okay, great.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Gotcha. Okay, that's all. Just wanted to do that. Thank you.
Yes, it is Valentine's Day, and you better buy a gift for
I
us.
was saying, I'm not aware that your wife would be mad at you.
You'll be going.
Oh, I have a follow-up question. Now, please bear with me because I was on painkillers and a whole lot of other stuff. But did I read somewhere about a presentation or a consideration being given to Palmer Gillis?
That was an email that was sent to you, probably by me, that he had reached out, and I wanted to brief the entire group. It's probably been a month and a half ago now? Month ago? So, but that was it. It was informational. It's not, I think that my understanding of the body's direction is that we would like to see where we end up with the demo, and then once we have a clear perspective on where that's going, we'd like to revisit our RFP. That's my understanding. Good? Steve, good with Aaron Park, Henry Park?
Oh, good. Yeah, thank you.
Stephen Gator, Burbridge. All right, up next, comments from the mayor, and I didn't overlook you, Sarah. I had put you here on my list as an item to discuss. So go ahead with your.
Thank you very much. I don't want to miss the opportunity to let everyone know that we're going to be launching our town flag fundraiser. We have the first batch of flags in, and we'll be requesting that people reach out to us by email. We'll send an email out tomorrow where you can just click on the link and send an email reserving your flag, which will then be available for pickup at Town Hall on or after March 13th. And we ask that everybody will plan to fly their flags on Berlin's birthday, which is Saturday, March 30th. The donation will be $30, a suggested donation of $30, cash or check made payable to the town of Berlin, and the funds will go to support the Future Community Center.
Thank you, Sarah.
Suggested.
Fundraising,
Fundraising.
not a donation.
Okay.
Do you need to clarify that statement? Is it okay?
It's a fundraising fund, not a donation.
There we go.
Got it.
All right.
I just want to add to the donation, we have not received a big support for the Energy Assistant Fund going paperless, even though we have multiple requests that people don't like to receive paper in the mail. It did not generate funding that normally generate every year to assist lower income families for the electric fund. So we did mail a page included with the bill that gone to every single resident in town of Berlin. We hope that people will still be able to contribute, even if it's a small amount, that will be matched dollar for dollar from the town electric fund and distributed to the electric assistance.
Thank you for that. All right, I don't have any other comments. So then, anything from the press? All right, seeing none, Vice President Burrell, you're up. All in favor? All right, thank you. Yeah, we do. Chief, can I have you for just a second before?